Okay, so get this.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving into the Falcon Lake UFO incident today.
Ooh, interesting.
Have you ever heard of it?
I have, yeah.
Get ready for some seriously wild stuff.
Okay.
Eyewitness accounts.
Right.
Official investigations. We're talking the whole 9 yards.
I'm ready.
We're talking about a prospector, a strange craft,
Uh-huh.
unexplained burns, even some lingering radioactivity.
Wow, okay.
So the question is,
Yeah,
did Stefan Michalak, our prospector,
right.
did he stumble onto, like, an alien rest stop
Mm.
in the Canadian wilderness back in '67?
Back in 67, yeah.
Or is there something else going on here?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
And you've given us a really diverse set of sources for this deep dive.
Right.
Articles, podcast recaps, even Wikipedia entries.
It's like a buffet.
It'll be fascinating to see how these different perspectives all come together.
It is. It's like a multi-course meal of information.
Exactly.
So picture this.
Yeah, okay.
It's May 1967.
Right.
A long weekend.
Huh?
Stefan Michalak, our prospector,
Yeah.
he's out in the wilds of Manitoba, Canada.
Okay.
He's looking for quartz,
Right.
the kind that might have precious metals tucked inside.
Mm.
He has no idea what he's about to walk into.
And that background in prospecting is actually really key here.
I was just going to say that.
Michalak knew his geology.
Yeah.
He was used to observing details.
That's important.
And that's going to be important later on.
Yeah, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
So he finds this clearing,
Okay.
but instead of striking gold,
Right.
he sees two disc-shaped objects
What?
just hovering there.
Oh, wow.
One of them actually lands nearby.
No way.
I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but I'd be out of there.
I think I would be too.
Just see ya.
Yeah.
But Michalak,
Yeah.
he starts taking notes, like right away.
Seriously.
He sketches the craft,
Wow.
describing its size, its shape, its color,
Got it all down.
even this strange, like, grid-like vent it had.
Hmm.
The guy was meticulous.
Talk about a close encounter.
I know, right?
Wow.
And get this, okay?
Okay.
He gets close enough to try and communicate with this thing.
He's brave.
No response, though.
Really?
Just silence.
Oh, that's eerie.
And then things take a turn.
Oh, no.
3
thanks.
panels on the craft.
Yeah.
They just slide shut, suddenly,
Like all of a sudden.
out of nowhere.
Wow.
And for reasons we can only guess at.
I know, right?
Michalak decides to touch it.
He touched it.
He touched it.
What happened?
His glove melts on contact,
Oh my gosh.
and then whoosh,
Oh no.
this blast of hot gas
Oh Jesus.
shoots out from that grid-like vent,
Uh-huh.
hits him right in the chest,
Oh no.
sets his clothes on fire.
Oh my god.
The force of it knocks him back.
Oh.
Not exactly a friendly hello.
Definitely not.
This is insane.
I know, right?
So now he's burned, disoriented, nauseous.
Oh gosh.
And as he's trying to get back to his motel, right?
Yeah.
He runs into a police officer who thinks he's drunk.
What?
Now, there are some conflicting accounts about this part.
Oh really?
The officer said he didn't smell alcohol
Hmm.
and offered help.
Okay.
But Michalak refused.
Huh.
Michalak, though, later claimed that the officer was dismissive.
Oh, so there are two sides to the story.
Yeah, another layer of weirdness added to the mix.
Definitely adds to the mystery.
Can you imagine? Like,
yeah.
you're sick, you're burned, you
Yeah.
just had this crazy experience.
And no one believes you.
And no one believes you.
That's rough.
But it gets even wilder.
It does.
He makes it back to his motel,
Okay.
goes home to Winnipeg the next day,
Uh-huh.
and ends up in the emergency room.
Oh, wow.
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, I'm listening.
He's got burns on his chest and stomach.
Right.
But here's the kicker.
What's that?
They're in a grid pattern,
A grid pattern?
matching the vent on that craft.
No way.
How do you explain that?
I don't know.
Okay, so we've got burns, we've got this weird grid pattern.
Yeah.
There's got to be more to this, right? There's
Yes.
got to be.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, good.
Michalak starts experiencing all these health problems.
Like what?
Diarrhea, headaches, blackouts,
Oh my gosh.
even losing weight.
Really?
Some people thought it might be radiation poisoning from that blast of gas.
Radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It is scary, yeah.
So, did anyone believe him at this point?
That's a good question.
Did they investigate?
Well, the media picked up the story,
Okay.
and both the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP,
Right.
and the Royal Canadian Air Force, they both launched investigations.
Wow.
They actually went to the site where Michalak said it happened.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
I bet you are.
What did they find?
Well, they didn't find any little green men,
Oh, sure.
But they did find a circle of scorched vegetation
Really?
about 15 feet across,
Yeah.
right where Michalak said the craft landed. And it gets better.
Does it?
Soil samples from the site showed high levels of radioactivity.
No way.
Even Michalak's clothes, the ones he tore off after the encounter, right?
Yeah.
They had traces of radioactive material on them.
This is like something out of a movie.
It is pretty wild.
So are we saying, like, this is definitely aliens?
Mhm.
Case closed.
Not so fast.
Oh, come on.
Some experts, even though they acknowledged that the evidence was strange,
Okay.
they said that maybe there was a natural radium vein in the area
Okay.
that could explain the radiation.
But a radium vein that burns a perfect circle
Yeah.
and leaves a grid-shaped burn on someone.
It's hard to believe.
Come on.
I know, right?
What are the odds?
It is a bit of a stretch.
It is.
Yeah, it's not
Oh.
it's not that straightforward.
Okay.
See, they also found melted metal at the site,
Right.
and analysis showed it wasn't the kind of metal you'd typically find in the area.
Oh, really?
So that kind of throws another wrench in the whole thing.
Okay, so we've got this prospector, strange burns, mysterious craft, radioactive traces, and even melted metal.
That's a lot to unpack.
I know. What in the world happened to Stefan Michalak
Yeah,
out there in the wilderness?
that is the big question, isn't it?
It is.
And officially, the Falcon Lake incident
Yeah.
remains unsolved.
Unsolved. They just left it at that.
Not exactly. The incident had a huge impact.
Oh, I bet.
Michalak kept having health issues.
Right.
And the site actually became kind of a tourist attraction for people interested in,
I bet.
all things paranormal.
Like the X-Files.
Exactly.
The truth is out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So the case was featured in books, documentaries even.
Wait, don't tell me.
They put it on a coin.
Yeah.
No way.
The Royal Canadian Mint
Really?
made a commemorative coin featuring the Falcon Lake incident.
Seriously?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Even after all these years,
Yeah.
people are still captivated by this story.
That's crazy. So it seems like Canada takes its UFOs seriously.
They do.
But what does this all mean?
Right.
Like, where do we even begin to unpack a case like this?
Well, this is where things get really interesting for me.
Okay.
We've got this incredible story,
Right.
physical evidence
Right.
that's both tantalizing
Yeah.
and inconclusive,
Right.
and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah. What do we do with all of this?
That's the challenge, isn't it?
Well, that's the beauty of a deep dive like this.
It's our
okay?
Dax.
We get to consider all the possibilities.
Yeah.
All the angles.
all the angles.
So what stands out to you so far? Like, what's got you scratching your head?
For me, it's the sheer amount of physical evidence.
Okay.
The burned circle of vegetation,
Right.
the radioactive soil, the clothing, the melted metal.
Yeah.
It all suggests that something extraordinary happened at Falcon Lake.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
the lack of definitive answers on the cause of the radiation, that's what's truly puzzling.
Yeah. It's like we have all the pieces of the puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
but not the box top.
Right.
To tell you what the picture's supposed to be.
Exactly.
You know, one thing that really struck me
Yeah.
was Michalak's insistence on documenting everything.
Oh, yeah.
He sketches the craft.
Yeah.
He keeps these detailed notes about his symptoms.
Mm.
It's almost like he knew this was going to be a big deal.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
That meticulousness is a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Right.
On one hand,
Yeah.
it lends credibility to his story.
Right.
He's providing specific details, measurements, timelines,
Yeah.
all things that are, difficult to fabricate convincingly.
Right.
But then on the other hand,
Yeah.
that same level of detail makes it easier for skeptics to pick apart his account,
Right.
to find inconsistencies, to raise doubts.
So we've got this tug of war between the believers and the skeptics.
It's a classic UFO story. Yeah.
Right. But you know what's missing from this?
What's that?
What about Michalak himself?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what kind of a person was he?
Mm-hmm.
Was he known to be a prankster?
Right.
Someone who might, make up a story like this?
That's an important question,
It is.
and one that investigators certainly looked into
Oh, yeah.
from what we know.
Yeah.
Stefan Michalak was considered to be a reliable, hardworking individual.
Okay.
There's no record of him being prone to exaggeration
Mhm.
or seeking attention.
So, not a prankster.
Doesn't seem like it.
Not looking for his 15 minutes.
Right.
Okay.
In fact, some accounts even suggest he was initially reluctant to share his story,
Really?
fearing, ridicule and disbelief.
That makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
Like, if he was just looking for his 15 minutes,
Right.
wouldn't he have played it up even more?
You would think so, yeah.
But it sounds like he was genuinely affected by this experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, both physically and emotionally.
Yeah, the lasting health issues he experienced, the weight loss, the recurring burns.
Yeah.
I mean, these weren't things he could have faked.
No.
And according to his family, the incident had a profound impact on him. He became more withdrawn, almost haunted by what he had seen and experienced.
You mentioned earlier that Michalak had a theory about the radiation possibly coming from something beneath the rock at the site.
I did, yeah.
Did he ever find anything else that might support those claims?
I did.
Really?
In 1968, a year after the incident, Michalak returned to the site.
Wow.
Driven by this lingering feeling that there was more to the story.
I bet.
So while he was examining the area, he noticed a crack in the rock.
Okay.
Where he believed the craft had hovered.
Right.
He chipped away at the crack with his rod hammer.
Okay.
And discovered something quite strange.
Don't tell me.
Uh-huh.
He found, like, alien technology?
Not quite.
Okay.
But equally baffling.
Okay, I'm listening.
He found pieces of melted metal.
Melted metal.
So smooth, silvery, like zigzags, embedded in the rock, as if they had been poured in molten form.
Huh.
And these metal fragments were found to be radioactive.
Radioactive metal fragments.
Radioactive metal fragments.
It just keeps getting weirder and weirder.
It does, doesn't it?
So what'd they make of that?
Well, here's where the skeptics and believers clash once again.
Oh, of course.
The skeptics, they argue that the metal could be from a mundane source.
Okay.
Maybe debris from a passing aircraft or some kind of industrial byproduct.
Right.
But the believers, they point to the unusual composition of the metal.
Okay.
Claiming it doesn't match any known alloys used in the area at the time.
So more questions than answers.
More questions than answers.
It's like every piece of evidence in this case is like a double-edged sword, open to multiple interpretations.
It's true.
It's enough to make your head spin.
It is.
It really is.
And that's what makes the Falcon Lake incident so compelling.
I know, right?
It's a case where the evidence is both intriguing and ambiguous, leaving us with, as you said, more questions than answers.
Yeah. Okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a moment.
Okay.
Let's say, for the sake of argument, that Michalak did encounter something truly extraordinary at Falcon Lake.
Something not of this world.
Something not of this world.
Okay.
What does that tell us?
Right.
What are the implications?
Now we're getting to the heart of the matter, aren't we? If we accept, even hypothetically, that the Falcon Lake incident was a genuine encounter with an unknown intelligence, it challenges our understanding of the universe and our place in it.
Whoa, that got deep fast.
It did, didn't it?
It did.
But it forces us to consider the possibility that we are not alone.
Right.
That there are other beings out there, perhaps far more advanced than us, who are capable of, traversing vast distances and interacting with our world in ways we can barely comprehend.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? To think that there might be other civilizations out there watching us, studying us, perhaps even visiting us from time to time.
Right.
It's both exciting and a little bit scary, don't you think?
It's both of those things, yeah.
It is.
It certainly raises a whole host of questions, what are their intentions?
Right.
Are they friendly or hostile? What do they want from us? And perhaps most importantly, what does it mean for humanity if we are not the only intelligent species in the universe?
Those are some big questions.
They are.
I don't know if I'm ready for those answers.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It is.
But this deep dive has really opened my eyes to the mysteries that are still out there.
It has.
It makes you wonder what other unexplained events are happening all the time.
Right.
But just aren't as well documented as the Falcon Lake incident.
I was just thinking that.
Right.
It's wild.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to keep an open mind.
Yeah.
To be willing to explore the unknown, to question what we think we know.
Absolutely.
Because who knows what other incredible discoveries are waiting to be made.
Right.
Just beyond the horizon of our understanding.
So we've gone deep down the rabbit hole with this Falcon Lake incident.
Yeah, we have.
Eyewitness accounts, official reports, the physical evidence, a whole lot of theories.
A lot to consider.
But after all that, I still want to know, what really happened?
Right.
What really happened to Stefan Michalak back in 1967?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It is. And what's so fascinating to me is that this case, even though it's officially unsolved, it really shows us how much we still don't know.
Absolutely.
About the world. And the universe.
It's humbling, isn't it?
It is. It makes you feel kind of small, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for all our scientific progress, we're still bumping up against these huge mysteries.
It's true.
We've got all these pieces of the puzzle, the bonds, the radiation, that weird metal. But we can't quite put them together to get the full picture.
Yeah, and I think that's where the true value of a deep dive like this comes in.
What do you mean?
It's not about handing you a neat and tidy answer.
Right.
It's about giving you the information, the different perspectives,
Yeah.
and letting you decide
Oh, I like that.
what makes sense to you.
It's like we're giving you the tools
Exactly.
to be your own investigator.
Be your own detective.
And the Falcon Lake incident definitely gives you a lot to work with.
It does.
It makes you wonder what other unexplained events are happening out there right now.
Right.
That we don't even know about.
All the time. Probably.
Think about all the stories that haven't been told.
Right. All the encounters that haven't been documented.
Maybe there are people all over the world having experiences just like Michalak's.
Right.
But they're keeping it to themselves.
They're afraid to talk about it.
Yeah, because they're afraid no one will believe them.
Exactly.
It's kind of a lonely thought, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah.
Like, we like to think that we have this solid understanding of reality.
Yeah.
And then something like the Falcon Lake incident comes along and it just shakes everything up.
Rocks your world.
It does.
It reminds us that there's still so much out there that we just don't understand, so much waiting to be discovered.
That's the exciting part, right?
That's the exciting part.
Like a call to action.
It is.
To stay curious, to keep asking questions.
Absolutely.
To be open to the possibility that there's more to the universe than we can even imagine.
More than we can possibly comprehend.
So there you have it. Our deep dive into the Falcon Lake incident.
We did it.
We explored the evidence,
The theories.
the implications. But this is really just the beginning.
It is.
If this case has sparked your curiosity, there's a whole world of information out there waiting for you.
There is.
So keep an open mind.
Yeah.
Keep digging.
Keep researching.
And who knows what other mysteries you might uncover. Until next time.
Happy deep diving.